Hey everybody, welcome to my suburban oasis. My name's Soleil and I garden in a zone 6A/5B, and today we're going to be doing some garden maintenance, so welcome, come along and garden with me. We're in the lady bed right now, and as you can see, our peonies have gone over. So we're going to be cleaning these peonies up. We're going to be cutting them back in order for these little lime hydrangeas to be able to have their space. So I'm going to get my gloves on and I'm going to grab my secateurs and we're going to go at it. Alright, well these are going to be pruned going all the way back down. I'm going to cut them back as far as I can just because these hydrangeas up front here are paniculata hydrangeas and they really like the sun and they're really pushing them forward right now, and they'll continue to do that if I don't trim these all the way back. So I'll be cutting them quite low. If you're doing this on your own at home, just follow these back. Follow the stem back to an area that has a petiole on it or a leaf node, and you can just snip right there. So that's what I'm doing. If you cannot see actually what's happening back here. But what we'll be left with is a small stand of foliage that is much shorter and is not falling over the top of these hydrangeas. I do want to leave like a set of leaves on each one of these just so that they continue to soak up, the sun and get some chlorophyll so that they do bloom again next year. But I think you can see pretty rapidly the difference that this makes as I trim them back. I do actually have some plant supports on them, so it's not an issue of getting plant supports. It's just because of the way that the sun grows with the the way the sun glows on them. So they kind of grow towards the sun because of the shed blocking the light, and then these arborvitaes. So they're really just trying to reach towards the light. The other issue this takes care of is the black spot that I get on these, or leaf spot. Every year, because of our humidity here in our climate, we definitely get the black spot on peony foliage and it looks horrible. So if I do this now, it actually looks a lot better when the foliage is kind of over the summer and you're seeing the foliage as opposed to the bloom. All right, well, that was pretty easy and we've already got it done. So we're gonna move over just a little bit to take care of the catmint in this bed as well, because we have some cat's pajamas, nepeta, and it is definitely flapping and it's time to cut it back so that we can get another bloom cycle from it. So as you can see, this nepeta has splayed itself quite far forward. So all I'm gonna do is grab this in hunks and just chop away at it. And while we're at this, there also is some daffodil foliage that is in front of it that I haven't cleaned up, so we'll get that right afterwards as well. As you can see, we've taken it back to about 2 to 3 inches, and it's going to grow back and it will hopefully rebloom this summer. Catmint is a really nice hardy perennial and it is extremely easy to grow, so I highly recommend it, especially the cat's pajama variety. All right, I'm just going to chop these up now into my basket here because As you know, I like to compost as much as I can. I don't have a green service or anything like that that comes to my house. So yeah, after this we will head out into the front garden and deal with those chives that have been butting up against the boxwood out there and causing it to have some struggles with growing, because we need to take care of that. All right, well, we are in the front garden bed. It is looking beautiful, but these chives have gone over now. They're done blooming and they're pressing up against this boxwood over here. So if I pull them back like this, you can kind of see it's just starting to stunt the growth on this side of the boxwood. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim these back, get rid of the foliage, and then I'm going to dig them up. I just want to make sure to be careful that I get every one of the blooms that has the potential for setting seed off the ground. So that's what I've done here. I'm also seeing some small baby red buds in this garden bed. So I'm just going to pull those out right here as well. Always stop and take care of things whenever I am in the garden and I see something that needs to be taken care of as much as possible, because there's so much to do otherwise. Okay, now before we get the shovel, I'm going to head over to this Spirea and I'm going to trim it back just for making it look a little bit more nice and clean. So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about here. We have a really nice mound and then we have some spikes where this is actually going to bloom. But the blooms to me are really insignificant in terms of what I'm going for with this shrub. I really just want it to be a nice golden mound at the base of the elderberry. So I'm not concerned about trimming off the blooms. I just want to have, again, a really nice looking shrub here. So we're just going to take those off, kind of trim it up real nice. I like the shapes in the garden. I think it gives it structure and a little bit of formality given how many different plants I have planted in it. I think it helps just make it look a little bit more formal when I have so much informality going on. I'm just going to trim it back from the rocks here as well. Sometimes a piece of mulch gets stuck in this. And then I'm just going to leave the clippings and brushing them up underneath of the bush. Hopefully you can see the look that I was going for now. All right, let me grab the shovel and we'll get those chives out of this garden bed. Well, I need to dig this chive up because I like to plant things very, very close. For those of you who have followed me for a while, you'll know that I like to ensure that most of the parts of my garden are all smothered in different kinds of plants to ensure that there's coverage of the ground. This really helps to suppress any weeds. It allows me to use less mulch. There's a number of different reasons. Oh, I'm running into a root from the viburnum here. At any rate, sometimes that does lead to this type of situation where something that I'm trying to grow might be stunted by something else, and then I need to take something out, which is no big deal. I could move this back a little bit further away from it, but honestly, I've just used it for filler right now for the last couple of years. So I'm just gonna dig these 2 plants out of here. It started as 1 plant and now it's actually 2. So if you're a person who has grown chives and is struggling, just know that they like lots of sunshine, and if you put them in a place where they like it, they will grow quite large for you and they will multiply. The nice thing about them is that they're easy to dig out and they grow in a clump, not by rhizomes, which can kind of take over a garden bed. Okay, well now we have that taken care of, and I think it looks a lot better in terms of giving that air and space to that boxwood. There's more than enough. It's quite a plenty. So I think our job is done here. Well, thanks so much for joining me today out in the garden. I hope you enjoyed this working in the garden video with me, and let me know what you're working on in your garden right now. I know the temperatures are kind of heating up around here, and I'm guessing they probably are around all of you as well. Let me know what's thriving and what you're working on so I can hear from you in the comments below. Thanks so much again, and we'll see you next time.